Welcome to this next episode of the LegalTech Match demos. Today, we're having a LegalTech Match demo with Ranking Copilot, and Milos was here in the studio. Welcome, Milos. So, before we start, I'm just going to explain the concept quickly. It's a very simple concept. We'll start with, after the intro, we'll start with a few questions, Q&A session. And after the Q&A session, we move on to the demo and we try to stay within the 15 minutes, approximately 15-minute mark. So welcome, Milos. My first question for you is going to be, what is Ranking Copilot?
Yeah, thank you for having us here. Ranking Copilot is an AI-powered platform that automates legal directory submissions and turns that data into pitches and proposals or capability statements as well.
Okay, very cool. And who's your ideal customer?
Our ideal customers are, every law firm that's interested in doing submissions to different directories, and most of them are doing that manually. Our system helps them with that to prepare the submissions for them much efficiently.
Okay. And is the system, is it like the system that's being used by the marketing business development team, or is it also like working in a client-facing way and like helping the attorneys to save some time?
So the primary users are marketing and business development teams. They are the ones who are managing the submission cycle, but also partners can engage as well because they usually review the submissions, they can make edits, and also the data will just flow back in the system. Besides the marketing and business development teams, we also work with consulting agencies as well, besides law firms.
Okay. And my next question was going to be, what's the pain you're taking away? But like having been a lawyer myself for 20 years, working on a lot of submissions, I think every lawyer has felt the pain of submissions and collecting referrals. So am I right to assume that that's the pain you're taking away?
Yes. So directory submissions are time-consuming and repetitive. Business development teams and marketing, they spend weeks preparing submissions, chasing lawyers, then doing copy-pasting, don't have anything in a centralized system. So we solve that problem, taking away that manual admin work and helping them do it in much efficient way.
Great. So how do you, what's the value of taking away the pain, the return on investment? Can you quantify it or qualify it?
Well, so the cost and time are the biggest ones in terms of what value we bring there. Since lawyers are paid per hour, we simplify the process. We save up to 19% time in preparing submissions and pitches. And then through time, this will bring some values in terms of the cost.
Okay, very cool. And in terms of integrations, do you integrate with document management or any other tools that are being used by law firms?
So we integrate based on the client needs. We do integrate with their systems, and we already have some integrations in the system like SharePoint and others. But also we have integration with chambers and partners, which allow law firms to submit directly from our system to chambers.
Okay. So, and every time chambers or Legal 500 adapt their formats, it is automatically being updated on your end.
Exactly.
Okay, that's very cool. How about, obviously, safety and confidentiality is very important for law firms. How do you guarantee that?
Yeah, so first, we are ISO 27001 certified. Also GDPR compliant. Most of our customers are from UK and European Union, and this is very important for them. In terms of AI, since we use AI inside of the platform, the AI will not be trained on the customer data. The data is encrypted, and we are flexible in terms of the data residency as well. So we can comply with law firms.
Okay. So all the compliance and safety and security, bells and whistles. Maybe Last question before we dive into the demo, into the platform. Your most successful users, what do they have in common?
So I think the firms that get the most value are the ones that treat their metadata as strategic assets. So they would have someone in business marketing who owns the process. They would invest time in keeping everything up to date, the current database. They can use that data for directory submissions, but also for pitches and proposals. So I think that would be the successful user who would try to manage that and keep everything in place.
Okay, Milos, I'm curious to learn more and see more. So if you want, you can share your screen and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So let me just give me a moment. Okay. I think you can see my screen now, hopefully. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I think for everyone who's familiar with, how submission process works, let's imagine it's like Chambers or Legal 500 season. You got like a lot of practice areas to submit for. You're chasing partners and lawyers for like matter descriptions, and you get like very brief answers from them. Then you're copy pasting everything to the Word document from one to the other. And then you need to go to Chambers portal or Legal 500. And you're doing all of that like under tight schedule while trying to, do everything correctly, because you know that this will affect your ranking and ultimately to get new work. And this is where Ranking Copilot starts. Everything begins here from the dashboard, where we can monitor all of the upcoming submissions across different directories and the practice areas. Besides the dashboard, we have different sections like matters, referees, past submissions. We can also upload the data here from those past documents to quickly build the database, which allows us to onboard law firms very quickly. Then we have lawyers' profiles, clients, and then pitches. The large part of the submission actually matters. So we do integrations with law firms that have already existing systems in place, but the ones that don't have anything, this becomes their database. For us here, we have different options on how we can add matters to the system, whether someone from the marketing or business development team would do that, or we have a lawyer who would do it directly. We have ability to share links with lawyers, and whether they would add a matter to the system or someone from the marketing team, it works the same way. Essentially, in the matter form, we have all the fields required for directories. I will not go through each of them, but we just do this process once and we automate it completely. So the only thing we need to provide is some kind of description, and the system will automatically fill in all those fields for us. So what I'll do here is just provide you as an example how quickly a matter can be added. The description can be very brief. It doesn't have to be in English. The system will automatically translate it for the user. It usually takes like 5 seconds to prepare a matter, and then it should be reviewed after that. So yeah, as you can see here, it already prepared the first page. Then it will write matter summary, identify the practice area, identify the client, lawyers involved, referees, the value, and so on. So instead of manually filling in this information, we can just provide description, and then matter can be used for different directories. As I mentioned, we do this only once. No need to copy paste anything, like you have it already in the system. After we do this exercise, and we should do it like frequently, collecting data, matters will automatically appear in relevant submissions in the dashboard. And this is also what we automate. So from the dashboard, we have a deadline. We click on the submission. We get to this form, which is divided into different sections. The first one is some general information, and all of this will be automatically added for the user, so they don't have to do this every single time. It's some general information that can be also adjusted if needed. What I mentioned previously, once we are adding matters to the system, they will automatically appear in the relevant submissions, whether they are publishable or confidential. The way it works, the system knows requirements of each of these directories. It also understands the research period, the practice, and the category. And the user just needs to decide and select matters that they want to be included in their submission. Whether we are preparing submission for chambers or other directories, those matters will be available there, so they can just reuse them. No need to copy paste anything like it's usually done when you do it manually. On the lawyer side, we have the list of lawyers. We can select them, the ones that we want to nominate. We can add additional information to them, whether we would draft that with AI assistant or simply reusing the content from previous submissions by just clicking a couple of buttons where we can, let's say, import a description from one submission to the other, improve it with AI as well. So there are many possibilities on how to reuse the data and improve it with AI. On the client side, everything will be automatically selected for the user. They can change the order if they need to do that. And then in terms of different descriptions, we can draft them with AI assistant, similarly to the matters that I showed previously. But also, as I showed, we can also import it, reuse it, which we often see for law firms to do that. Just reuse the content. So in the end, once we save this, we have ability to share this submission as an online document with a lawyer or partner. Once they open the link, it will look similar to the submission that I'm just going to download after this. And then here we have ability to track changes, so we can understand who changed what was changed. The data will flow back to the system after those changes have been accepted. So at any point, we can download that submission. Once we share it with partners, we can download it as a final document. The system will choose the latest submission form for that region, for that directory. Even if they change forms, we do that automatically. So law firm doesn't have to worry about any of that. In the end, they will get a ready submission document with all the information that they selected. Everything will be in the correct format. Let me just scroll down. So with this, we can just go submit directly to that directory, whether it's chambers or other ones. But also for chambers, we have ability to just go here, click submit, and the submission will go directly to them. So we don't have to download these documents. I think it's very useful when considering when you have a lot of submissions, you need to manage a lot of documents. With this, it takes a couple of clicks to do that. Besides submissions, we are building the database here through time, and most of the data cannot be used for upcoming submissions next year. That's why we have this feature called pitches, where we can ask any kind of questions. The system will provide you with the data in specific format. You can go ahead and say, prepare to, let's say, Coca-Cola on its acquisition of, let's say, Ace drinks. And then the way it works, system will try to find the relevant experience, propose a team for you. And all of this is coming from the data that's inside of the account of the law firm. So just to scroll down slowly. So it will just prepare some proposal, find the relevant experience, propose a team, and then user can adjust this. So they can chat, customize it. They want different formatting. Maybe they want it exported in Word and PowerPoint. All of that is possible. And all of this is with the data that was used in directories. So we can use it to get new work and new clients. Otherwise, this data would be just sitting in some Word documents and not be used anywhere else.
Very cool, Miloš. And does it also, can you send out your requests to referees through the system?
So the way it works for the referees, we can manage them here in the system. The system knows the requirements of directories, so it can propose referees that can be used for their next submission. So instead of manually trying to find the referees and also comply with the requirements of directories, you can just go to filters, select directory. If you're managing many offices, you'll need to select one, and then just the practice area. And the system will list referees based on their status. So we have those ones that we call not eligible, which means they're not related to the submission and they cannot be used and shouldn't be used.
Yeah.
But then we have those ones that we call potentially eligible, which can be used, but it's on a user to decide whether they actually work with this person or not, because the system doesn't know that. For the ones that we have in green, we call them eligible because they can be used and the system knows that the law firm worked with them within a specific period, which complies with the requirements of that directory. In the end, we can just select any person from the list, and then we can create a spreadsheet, whether we want to download it for Chambers, but also we can submit it directly from that. And once we do that, it will just use the format of that directory and fill it in with the information from those referees that we have in the system and their information, which looks like this. So we do the same thing here for the referees that we have for submissions. We generate those documents, prepare them, and the law firm can just submit them and simplify that process. What might be useful for everyone who's doing many submissions is we don't want to overwhelm referees. And what usually happens is it's called referee fatigue. So when they use referees too often with our system, we can just click on the referee to get more information on where and how often this referee was used before making decision and actually use them in the next submission. So this is, I think, very useful part for everyone who's doing submissions.
This looks really useful and a solution to something that a lot of law firms are struggling with. So it's looks great. Milos,
yeah.
Assume someone sees this demo and they want more information. What would be like? How would the next step look like?
I would say the next step, if they would be interested, they can book a demo directly with me. We can go in detail, show them everything, how it works, maybe address some of their challenges. And then, of course, if they are interested and they want to use us, the onboarding is very simple and usually takes, a couple of days. Mm-hmm. We sign a contract, we go through due diligence in terms of security and everything. We create the account for them, upload their past data. We do the training. They get a dedicated customer success person and they're ready to go. So it usually takes 1 to 5 business days, just depending on how much data they have.
Okay, very cool. Anything else you wanna share? You wanna say, or?
No, I think that's from my side.
Very good, Milos. Thank you very much. It was very clear, I think a very, very, very useful tool that helps law firms do the work that most people don't like doing in a more efficient way. So yeah, looks great.
No one actually likes doing this, so hopefully we can take that pain away. Thank you for having us.
See you.